Hey y'all, it is May the 21st, 2020, and I do believe we're on the internet. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while. Alright, I had to let the anticipation build and stuff like that, and get everybody all excited. Pretty exciting things that we have to talk about today. Um, but don't get too excited, alright? I just want to I just want to put that up front. All right, we got some things to talk about, but I don't know what all we're gonna get into. In fact, I kind of like rushed into this whole program, this broadcast, and it's gonna go all willy nilly. But um, hopefully, we get something accomplished. All right. So with that all in mind, I don't wanna wait any longer. Let's see what we can get done. Here's the first thing, and it's the title of the live stream. Might be what brought you into here. Kind of curious. Who's Melinda? And we're actually talking about Melinda Gates. That's a question that, I'm just saying people are out there saying this by the boatloads or asking this, having this dialogue and this investigation into whether or not Melinda, and here's the thing, even before Melinda Gates, there's been many ladies out there that's been a wildfire of curiosity. People really want to know, and people are really confused. All right, taking the risk of being very hateful, I gotta say we're not hateful. I'm especially not hateful. If anybody's out there being hateful in my comment section, well, so be it. I don't know how to block them, but I'm not gonna be hateful. And I'm also kind of controversial in this subject. I gotta say, I get to be a little bit of a spur in people's crawl. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't necessarily agree with them, but I want to explore that a little bit tonight. Explore a couple of things. So with that being said, let's start off. And I want to point your attention to anybody who's not a millennial. All right. For the most part, there might be some, but for anybody who's not a millennial, all right, you might remember. I think that you remember quite clearly. It was a very popular movie. Let me go ahead and give you a look. See, I don't know. It's sideways. I can't help. Or it's sideways for me. I don't know if it's the right way for y'all. But we got some images of a movie. Everybody remembers this. It's a dang classic, all right? I mean, it's well embedded into the culture, for sure. And I find his name, Austin Powers, actually to be eerily significant, and I don't know why. I see that there's somebody up in the building. I appreciate you. Holla at you. Go ahead and get up in the comment section if you feel like it. Put a like, put a thumbs up or whatever. People should put a thumbs up. I go to streams and stuff. A lot of the times, man. Like, I go to a lot of streams, and there's especially some people who be like, "Oh, please!" I mean, there's so many people watching this. You gotta like it. You gotta thumbs up it. And I'll say it constantly sometimes. It's actually a good idea because then people do the thumbs up and it gets shared and stuff. Not that I would want to get shared or anything. And in a sense I would, but you run the risk because we're asking actually what a lot of people would deem to be hateful questions. I'm not asking the questions. I'm actually just talking about people who are asking the questions. And it's a lot of them, like I said. All right, but Austin Powers, there was 3 of them, and I gotta say they were all so good. In fact, I found the third one to be even better. Like, I thought it was a really good series, and then it fell off and never came back. And that's probably for the best, I think, especially for the cult classics. But this is kind of a mainstream classic. You better quit while you're ahead. And for sure, Austin Powers absolutely had to quit while he was ahead. Because now that we, in retrospect, take a step back and think about it, Austin Powers could not have continued into the world that we found ourselves living in. Remember before Austin Powers? Okay, and then see now we're in a different world. Austin Powers couldn't have continued without becoming like just controversial in ways that they couldn't even guess. You know what I'm saying? It would be too many ways to guess. Right? Austin Powers cannot exist anymore. But there's a scene, a couple of different scenes where he's calling out a lady for being a man. In fact, being a man in a wig. And a spy and stuff, and it's very funny. It's unacceptable these days, alright? It's very hateful. I mean, it's gonna be up on YouTube if you look it up, but if you were to say the same thing today, you'd be very hateful. Alright, so that was interesting. I wanted to point that out before we get into the subject matter. That would be, and I don't know if her name is gonna have an algorithm, right? What if I say Melinda Gates? Is a robot gonna find me? Probably, yeah. I would assume so. All right. When I just gotta let you know, I'm gonna put on the Instagram app, and when I do, I can't. First of all, I don't even know how to operate Instagram really, right? But when I do, all sort of disgusting mess may pop up, right? And it's not my fault. I was the one researching this stuff, but it's like I can't even control what pops up when I click the Instagram app. I wish that I could control it, but I just don't know how. So it pops up, and any number of weird things will pop up. Alright, so you got drag queen story hour and stuff, unfortunately. You got all sort of people who follow me, I guess. I don't know these people. Wait, maybe I do. I know some of these people. Alright, Instagram tells me about bikes. We got Stephen Brody, rest in peace, fella. I don't know. I do got some cool stuff, some wholesome stuff. Like this person's a hunter. It's actually a lady, and she hunts like crazy, dude. I don't even think she stops hunting ever. You gotta do it yourself, Steve. We're about to get into Melinda Gates, but this is just a taste of my Instagram and what will pop up because I just can't even help what pops up. Nina West is a drag queen, famous drag queen. There's a whole support team behind her, I guess. We got a few different, influencers and stuff. All right. So luckily, nothing very bad popped up right now. I mean, that's pretty bad, but I mean, it could get worse. Here's what I'm about to do. I'm about to type in Melinda Gates' name in her Instagram. And when I push the magnifying glass, like I said, I don't know if all sort of perversion isn't going to just burst out at you, but hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Alright, it's sending me... either way, that's not good, but it's sending me some sort of ladies and Donald Trump. I don't know. I can't control what Instagram sends me, man. It's nuts. Alright, but I want to search Melinda Gates, alright? And because there's a reason why I want to bring it up. And of course, like I've inferred earlier, I know a lot of people would say, oh, that's a dude. Can't say that's a dude. And oh, isn't that funny? Yeah, it used to be funny. Now it's no longer funny. And it's no longer acceptable. Alright, so we're wading through pretty mucky waters. I gotta let you know. I love Melinda Gates. Alright, before I go any further, let it be known. If you don't hear anything else, I love Melinda Gates. For sure. Alright? And her boy Billy. But we discussed some of these pictures. If you go to the Instagram, you might find it creepy or whatever. She uploads these pictures, and especially the recent pictures are going to be filled with just unbelievably hateful comments, but they're not my comments. It's just other people, and they'll be saying it, I mean, oh my gosh, over and over, and it's nothing but hateful things. You might wonder why they're sending pizza emojis. Trust me, I know the person who's here right now knows exactly why it's pizza emojis, alright? But a lot of people do. Everybody knows why it's pizza emojis being sent to this. And it's not because she's getting overweight, even though she is. Alright? And I am calling her a she. I want to explain that in a second. Leave blacks. This one says, "Leave blacks alone. Leave Africa alone." Oh man, maybe he's a racist, right? Just because he says stop messing around with the Africans and stuff, man. Meanwhile, I mean, it is a picture. Yeah, let's go, if we go back, it is a picture of her like just staring at some African people, and they don't even look very happy. But I mean, who's to say that might have just been a bad moment, right? But like I said, in any of these pictures, obviously it's going to be real bad. The comments are going to be real bad. Donnie says, "I bet you did pizza." Lori Pence says, "Stop using black and brown faces for your gain." True Blue Star says, "Everyone hates you." And I mean, it's just nothing but that. Get out of our land, bro. Melinda looks like Mrs. Doubtfire. And Mrs. Doubtfire, that was another movie. Alright? It was so damn hilarious. People of all different ages were laughing their asses off. Oh, rest in peace, Robin Williams. This is a wild world, ain't it? Alright. So Pete says, I remember actually, just so that you know, as far as Robin Williams goes, I can't take anybody's word for it. I don't know necessarily, but Bobcat Goldthwait, if you remember that guy, he's a good friend of Robin Williams, and he had an interesting take on it as far as something a lot of people didn't know about Robin Williams. I don't know how far we're going to get into that, but it's just that Robin Williams, his mind might have been all messed up. All right, and he may not have even been suicidal. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it, but absolutely disgusting. Says Aaron TDD. Leave them alone. And it's just pizza, pizza, pizza. You're the devil. I bet you did. This and that. Just keeps going, keeps going. Okay, but the question is whether or not Melinda is a lady. All right? And before I go any further, I said I'm controversial. I think Melinda is a lady. I know. It upsets you. But I don't mean to. Obviously, it's not going to come between you and me. But I'm just saying I think so. And here's a few reasons why I want to put it out. Now, there's a lot of pictures. And I'll say it like this. In my theory, and we all have theories, my theory is that Melinda Gates, if you check out some of her younger pictures and stuff like this, I think she'd be a perfect example of a lady out there who's on the cusp of being attractive, right? But she never got past the cusp of being attractive. Like, she never went over to the other side, but she looked like, especially in the younger pictures, she looks like she could have, I guess. And she does look like a girl. Like, for example, this picture. I mean, that looks like a girl to me. And you say all this faked and photoshopped and this and that. Perhaps. I mean, you have unlimited amounts of money. Maybe you can Photoshop all your baby pictures and all this stuff like that. But I'm saying in just the vein of being very simple, maybe this one right here is being very simple. It looks like a lady, right? And on the verge of being pretty sometimes. I mean, honestly, just being objective, right? Yeah, I know a lot of people would cringe to hear me say that, like, especially seeing, but that's like a more recent thing. It got worse. Like, it used to be, man, if you could find some younger pictures, she got a lot of stuff in here. Like, she looks like a normal kid right there, right? And then there's her older sister, I guess, who that person would be in question, I'm sure. Definitely that person would be in question. But I don't even know that person's name. See, there you go. But she keeps playing videos, man. It's like, okay, you see some of these younger pictures, and it kind of looks like a girl. Here's the thing. Before we go any further, what I want to say to back up my theory is that, you know, I've seen a lot of ladies out there who get older, and when in their youth, they're actually right there. They're on the fence of being pretty. They might be pretty. Like, you never heard the ugly duckling thing? Well, I believe in that ugly duckling thing, but at the same time, you can tell someone has the potential of being pretty. Like, they're on the cusp of being pretty. And those might be considered ugly ducklings. But they get older, and for whatever reason, whatever you might say, it does not work out, right? It's unfortunate as they just get a little bit older. I mean, once they hit 30 or something, oh man, does it not work out. And some people might describe Melinda Gates as that way, but I want to look at a particular picture in particular that I remember. And that's what I'm scrolling through. As you're seeing all these pictures of Melinda Gates, right? You can see as, time progresses, of course, it is not working out for her. And God bless Melinda Gates. I love her, right? And I'll fight with you in the comments, I guess. But I do, right? There's one picture I want to find in particular. We just gonna scroll through a lot. All right, check this out. I'll just take that in. That, you can see some of the body pictures and some of these pictures. I want to look at this specifically, right? You might look at that. You might say, wow, that's a square body, all right? Perhaps kind of square. Almost Dan Marino. Almost, but also if you're being objective, the hips do get bigger, right? The hips are bigger. So, and you can say also the cosmetic surgery or this and that. Yeah, possibilities are endless. But, I don't know. I gotta say, being simplistic, that looks like the body of a female. Alright, and especially, I want to bring into question these legs, right? Take a look at these legs. These legs do nothing all day, right? The only thing I gotta say is if those were the legs of a male, that male is on the verge of diabetes, or probably has diabetes. He needs to go to a doctor. Alright, because I don't hardly ever see males' legs like that. Let me check out the comments. And we see some people, man. I would like to make all y'all mods, every last one of y'all, but I don't know how. I don't even think I could do it from my cell phone, and I appreciate the crap out of all y'all. Four Corners Report says, good day, Mr. The End of YouTube. Hope all is going well. It seems to be. It seems to be. And then I try to remember that even when stuff is not all going well, that when it's not going well, that's kind of like to show me what it's like. And I should count it all a blessing, like, because I'm supposed to learn from every bit of it, whether or not I feel well. I try to remember that. I don't know that I do every time, but I try to. Four Corners Report says, I always hit the thumbs. Oh, man. See, that's what's making me go. See, yeah, I thank you and I appreciate y'all. All y'all out there that do that. And even some of y'all out there who don't do that, because I know that sometimes you might be busy or something. It's hard to put the thumbs up sometimes because of what you might be doing. Unwrapped by Brenda's up in the building. She says, yay, live stream, the end of YouTube. I can't hardly believe it. Man, y'all get all excited and stuff, and I appreciate that. Sometimes, like, I know that my schedule is very erratic and stuff. I can appreciate keeping up with this guy over here. Maitre Mark's up in the building as well. Legendary. See, Maitre Mark is really what's spurring on this conversation, although other people have put their input in. Maitre Mark says, said look at their wives, or Q said look at their wives. I bet you he did, but I don't know who Q is, man. And I've heard different things that Q says, and it is very interesting. It's super interesting. The whole 4chan and the 8chan stuff, that stuff's always been over my head. And I know a lot of people talk about it, and it's definitely something to consider, right? And it's not that it doesn't make no sense. It does. Alright, and that's why I want to think about this question. But Four Corners Report says, so my question is, do you like Bill and Melinda Gates? Melinda Gates? I don't know if that is a code word or a misspelling. Do you like them? No, I don't like them, but I love them. I have to emphatically apply that. Love them. Maitre Mark says, Melinda even looks more of a man than Ardern. I'm not sure who's Ardern. Is that like a very manly person from Australia? Unwrapped by Brenda says, hi, Four Corners. Hi, the Gates are killers. I cannot confirm nor deny that. Alright, and I can especially not deny that. Four Corners Report says, I know, and our friend don't get it at all. I know. Gosh dang it. Which one? Which friend? Is it me? Oh, you're talking about Melinda? Yeah. Oh, well. See, that's what here's the thing. I'm not taking it off the table. And that's what I want to stress. And I think that's what's most crucial when you think about it. We're going through this journey. Each of us are individual journeys, but kind of collectively. Alright? And, there's definitely going to be stuff revealed to us that we just had no idea. We're like, oh, dang, I couldn't even, it's good that it's been revealed because now I know the truth, right? So imagine me, I'm going through my journey and I'm considering Melinda Gates to be a lady, right? And all throughout my journey, I'm considering her to be that, a lady. And it comes some point in my journey, maybe the end or whatever, or when I could cross over to some other dimension, it comes up and it's revealed to me that Melinda Gates is actually a dude. Here's what's interesting. I already knew that question in my head. So when it's revealed to me that Melinda Gates is in fact a dude, I'll be like, dude, I already knew that. Matron Mark was talking about that. Four Corners was talking about that. Sometimes on Right by Brenda was talking about that. I already knew this technically. I just never really bought into it. Nor was it my business technically. Nor did it make any sort of difference in my life technically. And I know that it could be very significant as far as the genders. I'm not saying that's not significant. I'm saying that it, in a sense, it doesn't directly affect anything else that's happening in my life. Not me personally, and I bet you that it affects all sort of people very directly in their lives. Like it's affected people, all this like transgender confusion and stuff, and all this perhaps ladies or in fact being men and prancing around in wigs ever since before Austin Powers, right? So, but I think what's important is that the question's in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't be a shock to me at all if it's revealed. It's revealed, really? All my friends been talking about it. Four Corners Report says, hi, Unwrapped by Brandon. Brandon, y'all both have a good day. Says, why do you love them? Okay. Oh, man, I'm so glad that you brought this up. I love these people. I love them for sure. All right. And it might be a little bit confusing to some people out there, but here's the thing. I'm concentrating on them. When you think about that, a lot of people concentrate on people all day or focus on them. Maybe have them in the back of their minds and stuff all day. All right, concentrate on them. You love that person. All right, no matter how much hateful or whatever, you might get very, violent or whatever and outraged about these people. You love that person actually. Because here's the thing, if you didn't love that person, you wouldn't even pay attention. Who cares? There's so many people out there off doing their own things, and they might be wonderful people. I don't know what they're doing. And I can't pay attention to it. I don't even care. But the thing is, if I came across them, perhaps I would care, and I would look at them and I would see a person that I love. Right. I can just only assume that that's going to be the case with Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, who I've never met before. I'm sure I love. Why else would I be concentrating on them so much? If I didn't have a love for them, some people might say, "Oh well, I hate that person." I don't know if you can even say that on YouTube. Say I hate that person. It's like, well, good luck with that. I don't even believe in luck, but I'm saying is, I don't know where it's gonna get you from hating that person, right? And it might almost seem like you're hating your brother, but here's the thing. Scripture might imply that you might get offended and say, hey, that person's a lizard person from outer space. And in no way am I related to that person. Hey, that's very possible. And I can't deny I can't deny that completely. I can't take it off the table. They might be a lizard person. But in the meantime, I love this person. That's why I'm concentrating on them. You might say, oh, what about all these things that, they've been purported to do? A lot of people said they've done very bad things. I would like them to stop. I would like them to stop right now. And in fact, repent from their crazy ways, dude. And I've seen time and time again, it's more than enough proof out there to see that some people have done unbelievably just what we would regard as despicable things. Just what some people regard as unforgivable things. And I've heard stories and I've seen enough to see that sometimes people do those things and they even come back from that. Like they somehow figure out that where they were going, what they were doing was wrong. That's not to say that that person shouldn't experience justice. and they're gonna get justice from God. Period. All day, every day. And what's disgusting is that in our societies is that we're not administering justice. Not even 3%. We're not even at 3% justice. That's what I would. That's what I would put out there, as far as all that goes. Right, but let's see what the hell we're talking about. Loving Bill and Melinda, love them. I wish they would stop. Like, because when you consider all the money and influence that they have, they could stop doing what they're doing and turn it around and pretty much save the world if they wanted to. They don't want to. But the thing is, they probably can't either, and they're probably slaves to this cabal that they were born into. I mean, we know about their family trees, and they're slaves, and it sucks. It sucks to be them. Yeah, they might be perpetrating on everybody. But I love people. That's the thing. I don't really have no time for hatred. And I am focusing on these people, and I would have to ask myself why that is. Rabbi Brenda says, I was reading in the Bible. Oh man, it's about to get interesting. It says about the Asaps, and they lay eggs. What? Okay, I think there's people. They might be Asaps. Oh man, what? And maybe they was born both sexes. Yeah, I do. You know, there's definitely scientific documentation of the fact that some people are born with both those. And there's court documents and files and stuff all about Harvey Weinstein, who apparently he has both. I guess he has both. And that's why he became a god in their like transgender confused world. That's why people wonder why he's God, because like he's a mascot for them. Anyways, so it could be both. Could very well be both. That's a possibility. But y'all, you realize that we're having different variations of what could be possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not the theories aren't all the same. They're kind of the same, and the details are a little different. What could be? Maybe she's born just a man, and maybe she comes from the descendants of like fallen angels and stuff, and they were great big people, or they weren't people, but they had relations with ladies, and they made big old people. And you got a big old lady right here named Melinda Gates, who honestly in a fight could easily demolish Bill Gates, I think. Unless Bill Gates comes out with this ferociousness, which I'm sure he does have underneath that pink sweater. Okay, but just to press on, here, let's get to the bottom of this. Ardern is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Okay. And a man through and through, but billed as a female. Billed as a female. Oh, you're talking about. Oh, okay. So it's another one of these ladies. It's a man, baby. It's a man. In some people's eyes, there's no question. We're gonna have to Google it probably in a second. Matron Mark says all angels are male. See, yeah, that's what I wanted to put across, because that's another theory. All right, and I like this theory too. I like all the theories, to be honest. I wish I could have them all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could have them all, but apparently I gotta go with one. So I'm really just gonna go with none necessarily. For the time being, it says all angels are male. All fallen angels are male. All the offspring are fallen angels are male, and are bigger and are big, but they're getting smaller throughout the ages. Half of them pretend to be male so they can fill all the roles of males, of power. See, power being a male-oriented thing. Matron Mark pretend to be female. They pretend to be female, and then Rabbi Brenda says, that is why I enjoy hearing from you, Gerard. Ah, man. I appreciate it. It's like, you know, sometimes there's other things that I could be doing, and I'm like, forget all those things, dude, and I just stop in our live stream. And why? It's for Brenda. Anyways, that is why I enjoy hearing from you, Gerard. I have learned to be a bit more discerning from... Oh, thank you. That's kind of like... thank you. You know, it's because we've all become like amateur detectives, and I read Agatha Christie back in the day and stuff, and I thought that was interesting. But we've all become like amateur detectives, and I think it's better that if we can kind of get stronger by bouncing ideas off of each other in ways that I'm sure detectives did way back in the day, but not at the like the extreme way that we can do over the internet these days. All right. And sometimes the best bet is to take in all the theories. In fact, every time, like the best bet is to take in all the theories and consider all of them, just a little bit at least. Because if you don't, you have a blind sight right there. If you're just going onto one and clinging onto like a pit bull without, I mean, I'm saying you could have a favorite, but without even considering all the other possibilities, then it's like, I don't think you're a very good detective unless you consider all these sort of things. And then at the end of the day, um, I, I don't know if you would call the most fruitful, but I would say maybe it might be the most fruitful strategy to just go with what's most simplistic, what seems to be the case in most people's eyes. And it's not to say you're selling out to that idea, but it's just to say, okay, everybody in the normie world, which is gone anyways, thinks that Melinda Gates is a lady, right, married to Bill Gates. And so if they think that, and she basically looks like I said, a lady who could have been attractive, but that nose just kept growing and it just kept getting weird and the jowls and everything, and it just got bad, right? And so either way, it's just like, ugh. All right, I mean, if you wanted to make the case, if you said this is a person we should stand against because they're up to nefarious actions, and so therefore we're going to ridicule them over the internet, I can't even argue with that. I think that's probably a good strategy, and I think it would work because it'll it'll win people over. Like who are the normies or who used to be the normies? If you say, "Oh, look at this person, ew, this is gross and stuff," and that might actually win other people over, and it's probably a good idea. It's not to say we don't. I love Melinda Gates. I wonder how many times I had to say that before the bots find me. The thing is, I love this person. Oh man, dude, I'm not gonna lie. The face. I mean, we're not looking at the face right now, but it's just atrocious. All right, let's go to like I don't know. It's like I don't know. I don't want to get buffering. There's with Oprah and stuff, and it's like, oh man, this is her with like maximum makeup on and stuff. And Oprah T, dude, I'm sorry about it, but it's just like, come on. I know it sounds hateful. It's not hateful. All right, it is objective. Look at this. All right, can you blame anybody? That being said, and people pointed to portraits and pictures throughout history in which, oh, they think that that was a man, right? There's something going on there. Could have been. Could have been. But what's the point? Like, I'm not sure. As far as strategy goes, strategy is always in the back of my head. What's the point? But this lady is definitely, she's something somewhere went wrong, right? Matron Mark, Unwrapped by Brenda, says the rib that God took from Adam translates to Hebrew to curve. That's where the female came from. Okay, so these people, now we're getting very biblical, and I like this. I like this a lot. That's where the female came from. These people want to be both or are both, but it's like they want their own evil Eden. Oh yeah. It could be that. I mean, imagine that. There's like these people who are both prancing around and just trying to have their way influentially, somehow, some way. This lady was born into some certain French family, and then she got mixed up, and I heard her talking about how she met with Bill, and it's like, I don't believe that, but at the same time, it's like, it sounds very fishy. Rabbi Brenda says, here now without God. Oh man. It's getting real. Since I'm just thinking that, it just got real. I'm thinking about it too. Alright, so I don't know, like, that's pretty much, I guess, where we gotta leave it at. Like, Maitre Mark put across one of my favorite theories, like I said, with the angels, fallen angels, making big old people and stuff. And Rabbi Brenda says, and this could probably even correlate. Maybe this is of the same theory, but it says, some of these people are like both, and they're trying to like force it on us a la Harvey Weinstein and stuff like that, right? Trying to force their junk all over us, and perhaps even seek our demise. Uh, all right, but I think we got it all out there. As far as I'm on the other extreme, thinking that this little lady who just got very, very, very ugly, and I love her, and so I don't know if that's hateful. There's a lot of people on her Instagram doing crazy stuff. Now that we're on Instagram, I don't know if we might want to talk about. I had a couple other things in mind. Of course, carry on in the comments for. I mean, but I don't know if there's a certain direction people wanted to take it from here, as far as the who could and who isn't who might be a man, who might be half a man, who might be very gender confused, who's out there in hotel rooms with male prostitutes, and just doing crazy drugs in the government, and they're doing it for our safety or something like that. I don't know if, just let me know in the comments section. But in the meantime, there's also, I wanted to talk about something else. And, I don't know if it'd be appealing to other people out there who's concerned about this whole male female thing, or whether or not male and female even exists. But I wanted to switch it over because we're on Instagram. I wanted to talk about, yes, that's right, Tekashi 69. All right, and I don't know if this interests anybody out there, to be honest, but it interests me to no end. All right, let me see if I can. I gotta get the comments out of the way, I guess. All right, and I want to search. Like I said, I don't know what's gonna pop up on my Instagram. You can take what you get. But I want to search Tekashi 69. Okay, because I'm following this guy. All right, and he doesn't have a lot of new updates. He's not very frequent. I want to explain something about this guy in case anybody is curious. And the thing is, like, I was gonna make, and I've been very procrastinating about it just because I've had other things to do and stuff. But I still had the whole Tekashi video in my mind is already all laid out. So it's not a matter of looking for more things, but there's more things that pop up kind of every other day and stuff, like about Tekashi 69 that I could add to it, and I might. As far as the story that I want to tell you about this guy, because on the face of things, I know what you're seeing. I know what you're thinking when you're looking at it. And so with that being said, I want to tell you a very, very different story from what you're seeing right now. Just because it came to me and it's kind of like, it freaked me out. All right. And it's very prolific, or it's very significant. And I wanted to talk about it. But this guy who we're looking at real quick, I want to just say, we're on his Instagram. It's extremely damn popular. I don't know if it says how many people follow him. Follow 552,000 followers. But the thing is, when this guy goes live, sometimes it blows up. He went on Instagram Live a couple of weeks ago and had 2 million people. And hey, you could say maybe that was fake, made up and stuff, but 2 million people on his live stream all at one time. You're pretty damn popular. All right. Before we get into the heart of the matter about Tekashi 69, what I want to put forth is this guy who you're looking at. I'm not trying to convince you that he's a good person or a bad person necessarily. Pretty much that he is a person, and that's about it. But not only that, he is a PR genius. As far as marketing goes, you could, and I'm not kidding at all, you could have a collegiate, a high level course just pertaining to only Tekashi 69 and the moves that he's made. And a lot of people would think that I'm joking about that, or that I'm misled about that. I mean, a damn sparkling genius. All right, but I'm gonna explain why that is. Rabbi Brenda says she's just thinking about it, and she says, I saw somewhere that they were going to try out using estrogen for CV-19. Let's talk about that for a second. No joke, probably to make androgenines. I mean, everything, honestly. Yeah, hell yeah. And as far as a lot of normies out there go, which we used to refer as normies, I think they even understand that there's stuff in our food and put in our, obviously, in these what do you call them? What do they call them? Vaccines. They pump them up like full of disgusting things that'll mess up your hormones and stuff like that, and give you all sort of estrogen. Maybe that'll make you feminine. Maybe if you're a lady, that'll actually give you cancer straight away, right? Maybe they don't care about that, but it's possible that they do that. In fact, it's not even possible. It is well documented that this happens. Right? It's one of those things like you could debate whether or not it does. It absolutely does. And that's might could be what they're getting at. Maybe, and like I said, it's all very controversial. Maybe these people running around, they're from descendants of fallen angels and stuff. They like got all these. They're like. They got all like dysmorphed or whatever. What's the word that I'm looking for? They got all disformed and stuff throughout the generations because, like for example, and I don't know if I'm just coming out of nowhere with this. The fallen angels, they came down. They were having relations with ladies because they found them so beautiful and stuff, right? They had their relations. They were making babies. They made very big babies, and those babies became smaller and smaller and smaller throughout the generations, right? And the point is, some of them were very small compared to even humans today. And so they got small and stuff, and a lot of them actually developed two sets of genitalia because, like, it doesn't even matter. They're like hardly not even human, like, but they don't want to share it with people. It's like, well, wouldn't the doctors be giving birth? Don't they know about all these babies with double genitalia and stuff? Maybe they do. Maybe they're keeping it a secret. Because the thing is, it is documented that it does happen, for example. So it's not like it's a secret that it happens. And maybe they go around and stuff and like they want to turn all the people like that. They want to turn them into both genders somehow or kill them dead, right? So they don't care nothing about it. They just want it to be like them. They want it to be fallen like them. Am I right? Or is that not what's going on? Meanwhile, intellectually, they're stumbling and fumbling. They're not as smart as they used to be. They're not as big as they used to be. They got double genitalias, and they're all over the map. All right. I wonder how much time we have left. Dang, it's almost closing in on 9 and stuff, man. Oh, yeah. I wanted to see about if we can go to about 9:15. Give us a little bit of time, or give me a little bit of time to do some other stuff. Right, but I did want to talk about this Tekashi 692 thing as like the second part, and we are discussing some pretty. So continue in the comment section because that is the crux of the matter for tonight is what's the possibilities for these gender things and these see they're trying to influence us. Obviously, there's Melinda Gates and Rosie O'Donnell and everybody else trying to influence us and trying to pump us full of potions and just all sort of factors, trying to make us like them. And it's disgusting, I think. So, but a lot of people look at Tekashi 69 and they think the very same thing about him. And I can't blame you because that's probably what you should think. They say I have all sort of names for him to include clown. They say, oh, that guy's a clown. I've heard that a lot. I say, hey, what about my boy Tekashi? And people are like, that guy's a clown. It's like, yes, he's a clown. And I don't know if that's what you're not getting. Or if that, I don't know. To call him a clown is like to go up to Ronald McDonald and call him a clown. It's not an insult because he's a clown. And it really isn't an insult. He's literally a clown. And that's what it kind of blows my mind. It's because if you asked him if he's a clown, yes, he's a clown. Look at him. Right? But that's besides the point. Him being a clown not only gets him all sort of clout, and not just to take his words, but it has made Tekashi 69 his clown ways, his being a clown, and he wouldn't deny it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not denying it. He is a clown. His clown ways. Man, we got 5 people up in the building. Join us about Tekashi. We discussed Melinda Gates earlier. That's why you came into the live stream. You can catch that on the recording. But right now we're discussing Tekashi 69, and something that a lot of people are totally missing about this guy is that he is a clown, and that is the point, right? And you go so far as to say, in this new generation of terminology, he's a troll, right? That's what he is. He's a clown troll. and he's gotten to all sort of. Here's the thing: he connects with the youth, right? I'm not just saying that. It's abundantly clear, right? And in fact, if you know a young person, whether or not they admit it to you, they know who Tekashi 69 is, right? And they've copied his dance moves and stuff. This is his Instagram, right? You can find all sort of things that are wild, right? Scandalous, and probably not of a good example. A lot of Christians would say out there, right? And a lot of morally good people, they would say, this is not an example. I'm not saying it is. He's a clown. All right, but I want to dwell upon that. That's my boy, Tekashi 69. I gotta say, honestly, when it comes to people who are in celebrity nature, some of them are my favorites. Some of them, like, say for example, Tom Hanks would be people's least favorite. They say, oh, Tom Hanks, disgusted by that guy. Oh, everybody hates Tom Hanks or whatever at this point. But you do have your favorite celebrities, whether or not you like. I'm not saying he's my role model. I'm just saying one of my favorite celebrities, right? And for good reason. So knowing that he is a clown, and that is the whole point. The popularity that it's gone to, and a lot of people don't understand this. I don't know if they heard of the word clout or whatever, but it is pretty much a real thing. And it's a force. And it revolves around memes, right? It's powered by memes, right? And this terminology is almost over my head, but he's gotten so much that you wouldn't even believe it, right? Something that a lot of people don't understand, but I'm sure we understand, like, honestly, we've thought about it, is that there's, 7 billion people at least on the earth? You might say, oh, that's a made-up number. I believe it, right? 7+ billion, right? That's a lot of freaking people, okay? So when you consider the celebrities that are out there, what are you talking about? Just a few hundred celebrities all around the world, right? That doesn't make any sense. But if you think about it, the celebrities who are not, see, most of them are stupid. As far as business people, they aren't. As far as utilizing their resources, they can't. They're not built like that. Most celebrities aren't. And they squander their stuff away, and they live stupid lives, and it's disappointing, right? And certainly and pretty much every celebrity's life is destructive, probably to include Tekashi 69, if we're being honest. His life is likely very destructive to his own health, all right? But some celebrities, I gotta point out, they use this clout, they use this momentum to skyrocket them to amounts of money that you wouldn't freaking even believe, right? See, most of these celebrities are getting worked over, bent over a barrel all day, every day, right? And they get money, they get well more money than us, but they don't know how they squander it. And most of the money that they even bring in, it never reaches their pockets at all. And to include the government, by the way. The government right off top, and everybody knows it. It puts people over a barrel. Even Cardi B said, hey, 40% comes off top. I never see it. And you might think 40% is a lot. Yes, it is. It's a crippling amount. It is an absolute, and you might wonder why. Well, it's by design. So if you had to pay the government 40% off top, if you're doing these things, that's a crippling amount. Not everybody can become Tekashi 69. No matter how outrageous you might be all over the place doing all these things trying to get attention. Not everybody is going to be able to financially make it to the point of Tekashi 69. And as far as clout goes, and for example, like I said, the other day he had like 2 million people on his live stream. Going live, that's a lot of people. You got people's attention, and like, for example, his latest music video on YouTube right now is probably pressing 200 million views, right? So when you consider these gargantuan numbers, YouTube knows full well where the money's at, right? When you're considering advertisement and stuff like that, you make mad money over the past, since Tekashi's been out of jail. He's been making money like he's never even made before, right? It's like a Cinderella story, okay? And it's interesting because his PR, his marketing, and you could tell it's like, dude, stuff's being revealed through Takashi. His whole story is just immaculate. It's biblical. All right, so you could tell here's a guy. You know how most celebrities, they got a huge team behind them, and this and that, and it's like it takes all these different people to put a person on the map like this. Well, yeah, it does, and for Takashi, it's no different. But at the same time, his life is so apparently wild that he can't even really put anybody in a position permanently. You know what I'm saying? Things get switched around. At the end of the day, the common denominator for Tekashi 69 is Tekashi 69. Right? And that being considered, I don't know about his accounting necessarily, but who's to say? I would imagine he's getting better and better at that. But as far as his marketing goes, you could tell that's all Tekashi 69, or he has some sort of knack for it. I'll give you an example. Things are very outrageous on his Instagram, very eye-catching. Even if you, quote, hate it, you're going to get, he's going to get your attention. You're going to watch it. That's going to mean eyeballs. Eyeballs equal advertisement. And even though the world is changing and it might not be the same as it used to be, advertisement has always equaled money. Alright, so it's as easy. You get more eyeballs, you get more money. You get just a constant flow of money. Nobody's doing concerts, but when you were doing concerts, you could get $100,000 for one night. Okay, and of course you could break yourself out to the government and stuff, but even still, that's a lot of money. And you can turn around and keep going. The stuff's wild. The stuff's outrageous. Certain things you'll see are very scandalous. Certain things you see on the Instagram, for example, and I want to stress the Instagram, is very comedic, has very much comedic value. Like, for example, here's a funny picture. It's funny, alright? And not a lot of people do that if you're a celebrity. If you're a celebrity, you probably tuck that in. You don't want anybody to see that. It's funny. He's a clown. But it's outrageous. It's very entertaining. And it brings in the whole, like, gangster lifestyle that Americans, for some reason, I don't know about y'all, but Americans tended to romanticize after a while. And so it put all these sort of variables together and became an explosion of attention. It gets attention regardless, no matter how much you hate or love this guy. Alright? And so it's been all him. When you think about it, who dresses him every day? Alright? It gets attention. You might not like it, but who does this? He does this. He does all these things. You might say, oh, he's pushing gender boundaries and stuff like that. I don't know. It's like, he's a clown. Alright? But I also wanted to stress before we get out of here, it's very genius. More than just giving everybody what they want. Like, for example, holding around stacks of money. People want that. And people don't even realize, or you might realize, the more stacks of money you hold around, the more money you'll probably get, right? And it'll snowball. Either that, or you'll get killed up in the hood. If you put this on Facebook, you might get killed for carrying around those stacks of money. In fact, shout out to what's the XXX and Tentacion from back in the day. He's carrying around stacks of money. That got him killed, right? In the hood. Alright, but what I wanted to stress too, also, like I said, you can make a whole course from what I've been researching, and I'm going to put together a video of the different various videos that you need to see. But you could make a whole collegiate course over Tekashi 6ix9ine. Not only the outrageousness, not only giving people, unfortunately, the things that they want to see, alright, the things that they hate, the things that they love, the things that they can't live without. Putting it all through Instagram, but there's also a timing to it. There's a certain rhythm that you get into, as far as, because you could oversaturate yourself, and Lord knows a lot of celebrities are doing that, like a la a Will Smith and a Tom Hanks jumping on YouTube for no good reason. You can oversaturate yourself as a celebrity because you're not interesting. Alright, Tekashi 6ix9ine, he not only gives people what they want, especially the youth. He has the ear of the youth, and that's a fact. Don't debate it. Try to debate it. It's a fact. The youth knows who Tekashi 69 is, and therefore he can be used as a resource. I know a lot of people saying he's a snitch and a criminal. Yeah, he might be both those things. But, okay, we are going to show the different positive effects that he's made throughout the youth in the video and stuff. But also, I wanted to stress a genius in not only giving people what they want, what they love, and what they hate, being very scandalous, but having an immaculate timing and rhythm for putting it out. He knows how to put himself out just enough to keep people's blood boiling. All right, he knows. You wouldn't even believe it. This is some sort of genius operation, because look, this is a picture of the man just sitting in the middle of an empty room holding two kittens. All right. For anybody else, this would be like, well, what the hell are you doing? What is this going on here? For him, it's just, I mean, a sensation. He's got like dang near 50,000 likes and stuff, and he just puts out a little message. And actually, he's talking about, I think, like, when his next music video is going to come out. You see this? May the 29th. That's not that's not today. That's next week. He's got people, he keeps them on a certain rhythm. All right, because he knows if he was to drop the music video today, it's not going to get as much attention as if he drops it next week on Friday. All right, and by then it's going to get double and triple the attention, and thereby double and triple his money. I mean, it's so damn genius the way that he does it. You know, that's why I say he's got a certain, not only a skill for it, but it's something ingrained. It's just built into him. It's a certain tenacity that's built into Tekashi 69. It's like the force is really unstoppable. That's not to say he's a good role model, but it's to say, you know, it can be used. The story can be used to empower us. Like, for example, and I bring it up a lot, but one of my favorite stories is the story of Samson. All right, from out the Bible. All right, as we close down, we got a few minutes left, and we'll see what else we can discuss before we get out of here. But like Samson, for example, like I said, one of my favorites. He wasn't the most, like, obviously he's not Ned Flanders and stuff, man. He goes around and does some stuff that I personally don't agree with. But at the end of the day, he's got a tenacity, and you have to respect it, and you have to recognize it, and at the risk of being a fool, to be honest with you, because it just pours out. And when you get into the presence of a person like this, you feel a force, you feel some sort of aura. And I don't know what you would say, but I would say maybe that aura and that force is created by simply confidence. But the thing is, confidence can be basic. It seems to me as though confidence is an individual thing. It comes from the inside, right? You can draw confidence from inward, but at the same time, confidence can also come from externally. And the more confidence that comes externally from others giving you confidence, the more the tenacity inside the fire is lit. And you could see human potential, and you could see how somebody could just reach for the stars and go beyond the stars, right? It is very possible. It's happening in Tekashi 69. I never met him. I never been around him, and Lord knows he's a small little guy. But there's a force, and it's unstoppable. So that's the thing. I would say intergenerationally, this is where people fall off. You know what I'm saying? Every generation comes around, and it's just like there'll be some people out there who be like, "Oh, we can't relate. This generation, millennials, Generation Z, oh, we can't relate. Oh, these people, they're dumb and they're lazy, or whatever." It's like, dude, you're writing people off, and I would suggest not to. Right? And at the same time, okay, if you don't write off the whole youth, if you see them as the future, if you know that they have more potential than we have in their youth, and they could change this in a way that we can't, You can see that sort of potential in them. Might I suggest find the most popular people that they know. Unfortunately, that's going to be in pop culture, and unfortunately, that's ran by the machine. And I'm not denying any of that. As far as, yeah, they want you to see Tekashi 69. Who's they? The powers that be. Of course, they want to have you see Tekashi 69 because they want to promote degenerate behavior. I'm not discounting that. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. And yes, he is a clown. And he carries around big old guns and stuff. And it's kind of nuts. And yeah, degeneracy and stuff. Right? But that's another reason he would have never, Tekashi 69 would have never gotten the spot that he's in if he not acted the way that he acted. Period. And you can blame that on the machine. But okay, you blame it on the machine, but would you blame Tekashi 69? It's as though there was a car called the machine, and you had the keys. Your name's Tekashi. You had the keys in your hand. Can you blame him for getting in the car and turning the keys on? You know what I'm saying? That's what has happened. He took the machine, turned the keys on. You might say, well, that car owns Tekashi now. I'm not sure that it does. I'm not sure Tekashi's controllable. And when it comes to the recent history of Tekashi 69, it's just to say, like, he's done things that are impossible. He's in front of everybody's face, and he keeps continuing. And that's not to say he won't get killed today. A lot of people worry about that and say, "Oh man, he's got a death warrant out on him." Maybe he does, right? But Tekashi has gone real hard. He's made these certain moves. He's turned the key in the machine, made it work for him. He seems to be uncontrollable. He seems to be pulling off the impossible. He seems to have the total ear of the youth. And like I said before we get out of here, I think that that's key. If you want to reach the youth, know who's got their ear right now, right? And we're gonna see clearly in the video that I'm planning to make, and it'll be out, when it's out. We're gonna see that he actually has a very genuine, it seems, positive effect on the youth. Right? And lights a fire up under them. So wouldn't you want to make connections? Not to say that you would. Obviously, Tekashi's not going to meet every person in the world, but wouldn't you want to build a bridge with that person? Especially if that person, for example, is not fully satanic, as we see most of these celebrities like Melinda Gates are. Unfortunately, some of these celebrities have gone fully satanic. But some of these celebrities, no matter if they look like a clown and stuff, they haven't gone fully satanic, right? And there's so many good things to be said about them. So before we get out of here, oh man, I'm eager to see what's up in the comments before we get out of here. But Matron Mark is talking on Rabbi Brenda and says the earth was made for the sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. I think we all agree, all right? But the fallen angels bred a race of male-only giants. And I know some males who are pretty damn big, and it makes me wonder about that. I'm not being funny when I ask people out there, what about my tall friends? Do they have some of that DNA up in them? Is that why they're tall? Or has some of the humans been getting bigger and bigger throughout the generations as the giants have become smaller? Right, and okay, we're talking about giants, and the giants have male sons. All right, and there's certainly a lot of people we could talk about and stuff. But for example, what comes to my mind is Billy Gates. His son, he does have a son. Some people don't know he has children, but yeah, he does. Bill Gates, he has one son named Rory Gates. What's the deal with Rory Gates? I think he's got the build of his mom, actually, so he's going to be a little bit more manly as far as giants go. But I can't wait because see, we don't have time to go to it, but Rory Gates, I can't wait to find out what happens with this guy. Just because I don't know, it's very secretive. He's not even as out there as his sisters. are necessarily, and even there, that's kind of secretive. All right, I noticed that. Matrix Mark says the giants got smaller because they mate with humans, human females. Nimrod, 30 feet, as we've been told. So the grandson King Og, 15 feet, and his grandson Goliath, 10 foot. And now they are our size, right? Which that was like a couple thousand years, or around there, a couple thousand years ago. So it's taken them a long time. Like, I wonder just how small the giants are. I know a lot of like these tech geeks are very small. Matrix Mars says, I believe that. Oh wait, no, and Rabbi Brandon says, I believe that. Says, I'm thinking there is the devil's tree, the fallen angels tree, and they are different families. Oh man, I wish we had more time. We're already a minute over time, and I gotta get some stuff accomplished. But that's the nitty gritty. All right, I don't know how it could even become more sensational than this. But on one hand, you got the gender, the fallen angel, the calamity, what might have happened. Can we get to the bottom of it? Obviously, they want to turn us transgender. And even when it comes to Tekashi 6ix9ine, they're going to want to do all sorts of things. They're going to want to manipulate this fella. But I got the idea that Tekashi 6ix9ine actually runs Tekashi 6ix9ine. And they're not going to be able to control it necessarily, right? I don't think they're going to be able to bring it into the gender confusion that they want necessarily. You could say a lot of this stuff is flamboyant, and yes, it is. But throughout the ages, there's been flamboyancy through this kind of like, like I said, this force. I don't know what I'm saying. This male force, this masculine force. Sometimes it could be flamboyant. I'm not saying I have rainbow hair. I'm saying rainbow hair got Tekashi to where he's at. Period. And the amounts of money is ridiculous. All right. And the influence goes hard. The world is ran by memes. And like I said, that's what I would suggest as we get out of here. As I'm doing my own thing out here, I trust that you're doing your own thing. And I wish you the best with it. Alright? And honestly, whether or not you think you can do it, honestly, you can do it. Right? And if you don't do it, whatever it is, you are bullshitting. Alright? I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but you are squandering if you're not to be as great. And I don't want to define what's great, what it is to do, but that there's something that you do it, you just grab onto it and do it. You do it, and it's going to be so good because of just how, like, all the skill that you've attained and stuff, whatever it is. And there's something out there for each individual out there. Grab a hold of it and just manhandle it. Whatever it is, that goal that you have, right? Goals mean nothing. You surpass that goal and stuff. Just think, I want this done. It shall get done. So I'll be doing this sort of stuff over here. And what it draws upon the confidence from the inside, right? And so that's how it starts. And then I would then suggest to see who will give you confidence from the outside. See if you get their attention. Let it be known you're here to do this thing, and you won't be stopped. And that person will see your confidence, and they'll be like, "Wow, that's some confidence." And they'll say, "Oh, I like that." And they'll give you some confidence. They'll give you more, and it's gonna snowball. And then it's gonna snowball. And it's going to get bigger and bigger until it's really unstoppable. So it'll be like Ripley's Believe It or Not at that point. It'll be like Macho Madness ran wild. Or Feminine Madness ran amok. Alright? Whatever it is, the time is now. Apparently, if you're waiting for the world to get more wild, it is about to get more wild. But dang, dude, I don't think we have much time, right? For waiting around. And just ask Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? Making all that money and stuff. Making all that influence. I'll holler at y'all a little bit later. Y'all, it's May the 21st of 2020.